What is up, boys? My name is Berate, and the last time that I did a tier list video, it did pretty well. And frankly,
I like money!
So, in this video, I'm going to be making a updated tier list up to the current Valorant patch, and there's been some major changes, and yeah, let's, without any further ado, let's just get into it. Now, before this tier list starts, I'm going to make a little bit of a explanation of the tiers. We have amazing, these are just, you know, like the top agents in the game. You have an advantage just by playing the character. They're better at their role than other agents in their class, blah, 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 etc. Amazing tier is pretty self-explanatory. The solid tier is just below amazing, where they can't really be classified as being the best in their class, but they're pretty solid, and if you main them, you're going to have a good time. The mid-tier characters are characters that I would say are just standard middle-of-the-road characters. The characters are either pretty easy, or the characters lack some depth, but they're not terrible per se. They're just sort of middle of the road. The hard work characters are a little bit of a wacky ones. The hard work characters essentially encompass the characters where you have to work hard in order to actually get wins with them. I'll explain it more on an agent to agent basis when I get there, but just know that if your agent's in this tier, you're going to have to work a lot harder to get wins and to get value than, say, someone in amazing or solid tier. And then trash is just pretty self-explanatory. Agent is trash. Don't play them. There's no reason to play this agent. There's only a couple agents that I could imagine being in the trash tier, but yeah. Anyways, just another preface. This is a solo queue tier list. This is not a VCT tier list. This is not a premier tier list. This is not a duo or trio tier list. This is a solo queue carrying tier list, i.e. if you only solo queue, this tier list is what that's for. Agents for solo queue. I can't believe I have to specify that, but I got a lot of comments on the last video yelling at me for, oh, but this character's good in VCT. I don't care, okay? Shut up. Anyways, and this is also based off of my own experience. I have a lot of hours in Valorant, and all of these rankings are based off of my own experience in games. I have thousands upon thousands of hours in this game, but if my experience doesn't line up with yours, then that's completely fine. This is just the general consensus that I've come to over my time playing the game. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, starting off with Astra, I'm going to put Astra immediately in the hard work tier. Now, Astra for a solo queue environment is very, very complicated. You kind of need to have a somewhat coordinated team to get any sort of value out of Astra. So for that reason, she's going to be going in the hard work tier. Pretty simple as that. Breach is going to be going in the solid tier. Now, Breach is a very, very good character for both beginners and experienced players. He's not one of the top tier initiators in this game. However, you can get very good value out of him. He has one of the best stuns in the game. His ultimate is pretty much just a free sight take. His flash is good when paired with other pieces of utility, even though it is a bit slow. And the aftershock can really clear out those annoying corners that you don't feel like dealing with. So for that reason, Breach is going in the solid tier. Next up is Brimstone. And Brimstone I'm going to put in the amazing tier, and here's the reason why. If you know how to play Brimstone, you can pretty much carry your matches. Look at anyone like, you know, Parry 2N or, there's a couple of other Brimstone players that I know, but I can't, you know, really say them off the top of my head. Brimstone is a very, very solid character. Just overall, if you want to solo queue, he has the best molly in the game. His lineups are really, really impressive if you know lineups. He has 3 smokes, so he can, you know, smoke the 2 places that you need to smoke, and then just have a third one for, you know, fending off retakes or mind games or whatever. The stim just, you know, helps out your entire team. Faster fire rate, lower recoil, faster movement speed, which is always good. No real downsides to Brimstone, if I'm being honest. The ultimate is probably one of the best space clearing ultimates in the game, especially if you're playing on a compact map like Bind or Split. You can really get a lot of value out of that ultimate. So if you know how to play Brimstone, he's, you know, pretty top tier, and he's also not that difficult to play. So if you've been, you know, wanting to pick up a character and you want some easy, good value, play Brimstone. Heavy advocate for Brimstone. Next up is Chamber. Chamber's going in the solid tier, just above Breach, so I'm going to put him above Breach. The reason why Chamber is in the solid tier is because of the fact that he is very mechanically dependent. Now, if your mechanics are bad, you're not going to be having a good time with Chamber. I'm sorry. If your mechanics are bad, Chamber's just not the best character for you. Because a lot of his utility is entirely reliant off of you being able to hit your shots. But if you're confident in your crosshair placement, confident in your aim, and confident in your movement, and especially confident in your positioning, Chamber will do you well. So for all you, you know, aim demons out there, Chamber's a good pick. Next up is Clove, and Clove I am going to be putting sort of in the solid tier. Now, originally in my original tier list, I did put Clove in the amazing tier, but after, you know, some recent balance changes and sort of the way that the meta is shifting right now, I would say that Clove is only going to be good in sort of the same experience as Chamber. You just have to be mechanically better than everyone else. Now, Clove is a very solid character. The smokes are very, very good. The fact that she can heal herself and, you know, also get the speed boost off of that is also very useful as well for, you know, taking more space after you get a kill and, you know, overheating a little bit. The ultimate is just another life. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. So she's not going to go in any of the bottom tiers naturally, but she's not really going to be a top tier character, if I'm being completely honest. Next up is Cypher. Now, Cypher is going to remain firmly planted at the top of solid tier. Here's the reason why. So Cypher is just the most oppressive sentinel in the game. The trips snare you, they wall hack you, and if you don't break them in time, they concuss you. A good Cypher with good setups will know how to position his trips so that you can't easily break them, can't easily find them. You'll have to learn a bunch of different, you know, counter setups with Cypher. So like, hey, he likes to trip here, so I'm going to throw a shock dart here at the start of the round. And then as you're trying to shoot his trips, at any point you can kind of just swing out on a timing and kill you as you know, you're looking left or right on the choke point. It just gives you a lot more stuff to deal with. The camera's super, super annoying. There's some really hidden cams, and even if it doesn't dart you with the cam, it's pretty much just wall hacks. If he gets it, because he can just know exactly where you are, is really, really easy to do that. And the cages are really good. The ultimate is pretty much just just, you know, free information. If you can pop an ultimate mid-round, it can be the difference between winning and losing a round, because you know what site to stack, or on attack you know which site to rush, etc., etc. Cypher's just a really good character all around. He's not going to be in top tier, and, you know, the top tier characters are going to stay in top tier, but Cypher, I'd say, is pretty solid. Alright, next up is Deadlock, and Deadlock I'm also going to be putting in the solid tier, but just slightly below Cypher. Reason being is Deadlock is just really, really good. Deadlock is sort of in the same boat as Brimstone, where if you know what you're doing with Deadlock, you can so easily carry your games. She just has a lot of utility at her disposal, a lot of stall potential on defense, a lot of exec potential, and a lot of anti-retake on attack. And for that reason, she's going to go top tier. If you want to see some really, really good Deadlock players, I recommend watching Boney. Boney is probably the best Deadlock player out there. He pretty much revolutionized how people play the character today. He invented so much tech with Deadlock, so if you want to learn Deadlock, go watch Boney. Boney is phenomenal Deadlock player, probably the best in the game. Next up is Fade, and Fade is going to be our first installment into the mid tier. I'm going to be completely honest, Fade doesn't really have much going for her. Her info is okay, her dogs are okay. Her ultimate is realistically probably the best part about her kit, but the ultimate kind of needs to be paired with other pieces of utility to get value. It's not like a breach ultimate where a stun is a stun, and if you get hit by the stun, you like have hard CC on you. The only thing that Fade's ultimate really does is it removes your audio and it knocks you down to low health, which is fine, but oftentimes you're just going to get people hiding and waiting out the ultimate because the ultimate doesn't last for super long. The ultimate kind of needs to be paired with teammates' utility to get the best value out of it, so say you get like an Omen ultimate somewhere. Yeah, so for that reason, Fade's going to go in the mid tier. Next up is Gecko. Gecko is also going to be going in the amazing tier, probably above Brimstone if I'm being honest. Gecko's been really, really good for solo queue since launch because he can kind of do everything except for smoke. If Gecko had smokes, he would be the best character in the game, like obviously, but naturally he's an initiator, so he's not going to have any sort of way to smoke off the site. But what Gecko thrives in is comboing his utility with himself. Now, in games like Valorant, where it's very util heavy and every character has their own set of abilities, naturally utility combos are going to be very, very strong. But in order to have utility combos, you need to have some form of coordination. You can say, hey, I'll flash this and you throw your nade here. With Gecko, he can combo off of himself, which is really, really good for solo queue because you can kind of just do everything yourself, on top of the fact that he can pick up his utility so that he can have it for later in the round. It's just a very, very good character overall. Definitely top tier character for solo queue. I don't really see a reason why you shouldn't be playing him. Next up is Harbor. Now, Harbor, I'm going to be putting just below Astra in the hard work tier. Again, Harbor kind of just doesn't got much going for him in, you know, comparison to the other controllers in the game. Harbor is kind of lacking direction a little bit when it comes to what Riot wants people to do with this kit. If you watch people like Ludi Lu, they play Harbor like a freaking duelist. But then if you watch more like VCT Harbor games, you know, the Harbor is going to be sort of playing back on defense, a little bit more like a Sentinel. On attack, Harbor's wall is pretty good. The push wall, I completely forgot the name of the ability. That's also good for taking space as well. But at that point, kind of just use an ISO wall because that wall is very easy to get spammed through. The slowing effect, frankly, does nothing. I'm going to be pushing Harbor walls every day of the week. It's just bad. It's just not good. But the reason why Harbor isn't in the trash tier is because there is stuff that he can do. He's not a completely useless character. And Harbor, you can kind of play on every map. He's not really locked to a specific map just because he can curve as well. So Harbor's good, but you have to work hard. You have to work really, really hard to play Harbor. Yeah. Next up is ISO. ISO, I'm just going to put around the middle of solid tier, probably above chamber. That shield is broken. I'm sorry. In the tactical shooter, I think that there shouldn't be an ability in tactical shooters that allow you to just tank a hit. That kind of just ruins the whole point of the tactical shooter, because you can outplay the ISO all you want, but if he has his shield up, you just lose the fight if the ISO's any good. He pretty much gets an entire second to line up the shot, while you have a couple milliseconds to line up your shot, break his shield, and hit a headshot as well. It's just not good. The best way to play against an ISO is just to avoid him when he has his shield up, or to try and, you know, bait him into putting up his shield. The ultimate is just free, especially if he has a shield. Free kill pretty much every time. The wall is a little bit underwhelming. What's it called? The vulnerable does suppression now, which I think is an awful change. The vulnerable did not need to suppress, but he only has one charge of it, and it's pretty expensive, so I will digress on that. So yeah, ISO's pretty solid. He's not really better or more oppressive than any of the other characters on this list. Oh, I meant to put him above Deadlock. I meant to put him above Deadlock. But yeah, ISO, pretty solid. Alrighty. Next up is going to be Jett. Jett, I'm going to put just at the top of solid tier. I mean, what can you say? Jett's like the poster child of the Valorant game, pretty much. It's Jett and Phoenix that are the two most popular characters, and they are that for a reason. Jett's just a good all-rounder. Now, something that you have to realize with Jett is Jett has no self-sustainability whatsoever. If she gets hit, unless, you know, there's something on your team to heal Jett, Jett's just kind of out of the fight. She has no real way to keep herself safe other than the dash, and if she doesn't have the dash and she gets hit, she kind of just has to play like a scared puppy. Every other character on this list has something to give them an advantage in a fight, even when they're on low health. You know, Cypher has a setup, ISO has his shield, Deadlock has the stun grenade, Chamber, you know, has a get out of jail free card that recharges on a timer. Jett just doesn't really have any of that. So Jett is kind of an explosive character. You kind of just got to go. And then the second you get hit, you kind of just fall apart. So Jett's solid, but definitely not top tier. Next up is KO, and KO is going to be our third installment in the amazing tier. Now, KO is a very, very well-rounded character. He's not better than Gecko or Brimstone, so what you'll find is KO is going to be at the bottom of amazing tier, but I just cannot bring myself to put him any lower, just because he can do so much. He has one of the best flashes in the game. If you watch people like Toto, and if you watch people like Fake Ananas, you'll see that KO's flashes are just so broken, especially when paired with teammates. And it doesn't even require that much coordination. You just have to tell your, you know, duelist, hey, swing this, and they're going to swing it. I almost guarantee you any duelist with half a brain is going to swing it, because duelists love free kills. I could put KO in this tier for the flash alone, but then he has a knife that suppresses, and then he has a molly that lasts for a really long time. Good for post plants, good for holding people off, good for clearing corners. And his ultimate is pretty much just a free sight take, or if you're on defense, is just a free retake. So KO's good, top tier, easily. Next up is Killjoy, and Killjoy I'm going to put in the mid tier. Sort of for the same reason that Fade's in the mid tier. There's no real reason to play Killjoy over Cypher, especially in this meta. Killjoy does have some stuff going for her. She deals a lot of chip damage, which is fine. Chip damage doesn't do anything, because a Vandal headshot's going to kill you regardless. So unless you're chipping people to death in this game, I don't really see a reason to play Killjoy over Cypher in this meta, so I don't know. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. You know, Killjoy's kind of just mid-tier. If you want to play Killjoy, just play Cypher as a better character. Next up is Neon. Now, pre-nerf Neon would have been, you know, top of S tier, absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna put Neon kind of mid-tier, I'm gonna be honest. Neon was broken then, so sorry for that. Neon used to be really, really bad. Neon used to be like in the hard work tier, you know, back in like, prime Grumpy era, where like Grumpy was, styling on people in Neon. Hard work. Then Neon got buffed, got put into top tier, and now Neon's kind of just mid. She's not really that solid anymore. She kind of has to work harder than the rest of the cast, but I wouldn't say she has to work harder than like an Astra or a Harbor, so Neon's kind of just mid, I'm gonna be honest. Neon's really the best. All right, now it's time for y'all know this is coming. Omen, top of amazing tier. Omen is the character that can literally do everything. If you need some flashes, he can flash for you. If you need to entry, he has teleports. If you need smokes, he has smokes. If you need information, he has his ultimate. If you need a good lurk, Omen can lurk because his smokes are long range. If you need him to watch flank, he can do that because his smokes are long range. If you need Omen to teleport into their spawn on a hard read, Omen can teleport into their spawn. If you want an instant flank, Omen can ult into your spawn. If you just want to play back and sort of camp with Omen, if you want to sit in a smoke with a shotgun, you have that option. When I tell you Omen is the best character in the game for solo queue, I'm not exaggerating. In fact, I am tempted to put Omen in his own tier. That's what I'm doing. Omen's in his own tier. Omen is just that good. Like, Omen is just leagues for solo queue, and I want to make the for solo queue. For all you little Timmies in the comments section, but Berate, look at the VCT pick grade with Omen. It's not good. Shut up. Nobody likes you. Omen for solo queue is in a tier entirely of his own, and it is not even close. Legitimately not even close. So Omen, top tier. Nothing's gonna top Omen. Next up is Phoenix. Phoenix is just gonna go right next to Jett in the solo tier, probably above Jett for solo queue, if I'm being completely honest. Just because Phoenix is just a solid all-round character. Phoenix can flash. Phoenix has something to block sight with his wall. Phoenix has a molly that he can heal himself with, so self-sustainability. He can also use the molly to clear out corners because it deals quite a bit of damage. Phoenix is just a good all-around character. His ultimate's a second life, so it's a free entry or a free retake. Phoenix is kind of just solid, not gonna lie. Phoenix is pretty good, pretty solid. He's not top tier, he's not bottom tier. He's just the solid character. So Phoenix is probably going to stay at the top of solid tier, if I'm being honest. Phoenix is probably going to stay at the top of solid tier. Next up is Raze. Now, Raze, I'm going to put top of mid tier. Just because in this current meta, Raze is kind of not the best. Now, in VCT and in like a really, really high elo, Raze cooks just because of the mobility and, the value you get out of the grenade and the boom bot. The ultimates are pretty much just a free side entry, but in any other elo, and unless you really know what you're doing with Raze, Raze is kind of just mid tier, I'm gonna be honest. Raze isn't the best. That's all we got to say. Next up is Reyna. Reyna is our first entrance in the trash tier. Reyna is the default character. Now I have made it a sort of a thing with my coaching, by the way. If you want coaching from me, you can go to the Medify link in the description. Get coaching from me. I put the prices as low as I can. Guaranteed VOD reviews, and I'll look at your games, analyze, give you some stuff to improve. I have a lot of students who have hit Ascendant, one's hit Immortal. Very good times. Yeah. But something I do with my students a lot is if they're below gold, I tell them to just play Reyna. But the reason for that is because Reyna is the default character. Reyna is essentially the closest you'll get to playing Counter-Strike in Valorant without playing Counter-Strike. Reyna has nothing. Reyna has no utility to help her team in the slightest. Reyna kind of has no utility to help herself until she gets a kill. But Berate, she has a blind. Shut up, Timmy. You don't know what you're talking about. Reyna's blind is bar none the worst flash in the game. It can get shot with a Vandal really fast. And it's a near sight. It's not a full blind. So you kind of just die if you're, close at all to the Reyna. And you can still see bullet tracers through the blind. So if the Reyna doesn't immediately hit a headshot, you can echolocate where the Reyna is based off the bullet tracers and just kill her. Simple as that. The next entrance in the trash tier. I'm sorry to all the E-kittens out there. It's gonna be Sage. Sage is not good. Sage for solo queue has nothing to really prior herself. Now, a pattern that you'll notice with my tier list is that the top tier characters have a lot of versatility. The top tier characters in my tier lists for solo queue have the ability to kind of just do whatever they want. That's why Omen's the best, because he can fill any role that you want. Gecko can almost fill any role that he wants. Brimstone, KO, they can almost fill any role that you want. They can entry, they can flash, they can lurk, whatever. Sage can't do any of that. Sage is kind of just locked to your team, and you wall off their spawn on attack, you wall off the choke point on defense, you heal your boyfriend when you're when he's low HP and crying in Discord, and you slow when your wall gets broken. Kind of as simple as that. Sage is not good. There's no set play. There's no outplays you can do with Sage that you can do any better with any other character in the roster. If you want to play Sage, play literally anyone else. If you're addicted to playing Sentinels, play Cypher. You know what? Play Killjoy at that point. I don't care. Just don't play Sage. It's a bad idea. Next up is Skye. Now, Skye is gonna go amazing tier, but bottom of amazing tier. I almost want to put Skye in the solid tier, but she's just slightly better than Phoenix. Skye has a lot of versatility. Again, she has flashes, which give information, and also blind. She has a dog that gives really, really good information and also stuns, and deals a little bit of damage as well. I've killed people with the Skye dog before. It's very fun. For those of you who don't know, Skye dog does deal like 5 damage or something like that. So someone's low HP, and you bite them with the dog, they'll die. Funniest kill you ever get. Super rare as well. Very, very funny. But yeah, Skye can kind of just do a lot. The ultimate gives a lot of information, but the only reason why she isn't higher on the tier list is because she can't really smoke. She doesn't really have anything to block sight. But just the sheer amount of information that Skye can get, and on top of the ability to, you know, sustain her team with the heal, it's just very good. Very, very good character. Very versatile, can do a lot. Next up is Sova. Sova, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get put... I kind of want to put him in the hard work tier, but like top of hard work. Now, with Sova, you need to work really hard to get value out of Sova. Now, the Sova is pretty much the wall hack character, the information demon. That's about it. Sova can give you a lot of information, but A, if you don't know what to do with the information, or B, the enemies follow the nomad rule, and as soon as they get pinged, they just go somewhere else. The information is fleeting. The information is not good. Also, every single piece of Sova's information utility can get shot. They can shoot the dart before it pings anyone. They can shoot the drone before it sees anyone. You kind of have to work hard if you want to get value out of Sova. Sova's ultimate is only really good when paired with an Omen ult or a Yoru ult. It's not good. You can kind of just ult something off of a hard read if you really want to, or if your name is Average Jonas, go ahead, play Sova all you want. You're going to have to work a lot harder than the rest of the cast. Now, Sova does have stuff. Sova is pretty versatile, but finding that versatility is going to be a lot more difficult than, say, you're playing Omen or Brimstone or Skye even, or even Fade. So you're just going to have to work a lot harder than the rest of the cast. I'm going to be honest. Tejo, amazing. Tejo's still really good. I'm not going to put him above Brimstone or Gecko just because Gecko's the GOAT initiator for solo queue. I'm not really going to put him below KO either because he's kind of just has more than KO. Need I say more? Tejo is the best character to clear out space in the game. For the reason why Breach is good for clearing out, Tejo is that tenfold. He has the drone that gives information and a suppression. That's why he's better than KO, because it gives hard information, a wall hack, and a suppression, which is very good. He has 2 rockets, 2 nukes that he can use to clear out anything that he wants. This is very good for small maps like Bind and Split. It's just a good map. It's just a good character. Really, on any map, you'll find value out of a Tejo. He's also very versatile. He can kind of fill whatever role you need to. The only role that I'm not really comfortable putting a Tejo on is entry. If you're a Tejo player, don't entry. You have so much to live for. You will die. Don't do it. But Tejo can kind of just fill any role. Tejo can even lurk if he wants to. Because he can kind of just throw his missiles wherever he wants to, he can, Tejo can lurk all he wants. Like, Tejo can kind of just do whatever he wants and it'll work. He can fill a lot of roles. The only role that he can't fill is entry, so that's why I'm putting him, below Gecko and below Brim, because both of these characters can entry and they have tools to help them entry. But Tejo's pretty solid still. Like, Tejo's still really good. Viper, bottom of trash tier. Viper's terrible. Viper is just Harbor but worse. I'm being honest. I got a lot of hate the last time I put Viper in bottom tier. So then, as a response to that, I made an entire video going over my thoughts on why I think Viper's a bad character. I didn't really organize my thoughts that well in that video because I kind of just turned on the camera and started yapping. But my points still stand. Viper's not a good character. I'm sorry. There's nothing Viper can do that any other agent in the cast can't do better. In fact, I'm going to put Viper in her own tier. It's called the Viper tier. At the very bottom, Viper's terrible. Never play Viper. If I catch any of you playing Viper, I will find you and I will touch you appropriately if you are above the age of 18, because I do not want to become a Minecraft YouTuber. With all that being said, Vice. Vice is going in the hard work tier. Vice is a very difficult character to get any sort of value out of. Sort of how I said that there's no reason to play Killjoy over Cypher, there's no reason to play Vice over Killjoy, or Cypher, or Chamber for that matter. I would say Chamber's a better Sentinel than Vice if I'm being honest. Vice just ain't good. I'm sorry to break, I hate to break it to you. Vice just isn't good. She has nothing that Killjoy and Cypher doesn't do, just oodles better. Do I want Vice to be a good character? Yes, I want Vice to get a significant buff like Deadlock did to bump her up to the solid or amazing tier. I want that because Vice is a cool looking character. Vice is great, really, really good character. Great character design, great voice acting, great ability design. It's great. The abilities suck. They're terrible. Case in point, Vice, not good. Play someone else. Next up is Waylay. Waylay's going bottom of mid tier. I would have put Waylay top of hard work tier, but she's kind of a little bit better than Sova just because she has the best get out of jail free card in the game. The only thing that is keeping Waylay from being in the Viper tier right now is that get out of jail free card. Riot handcrafted the worst possible character competitively and then gave her the best get out of jail free card in the game. And that get out of jail free card alone is the reason why she is in mid tier and not in Viper tier or trash tier. So count your lucky stars. And finally, we have Yoru. Yoru is going in the top of amazing tier. He's great. Yoru would be in the Omen tier if Omen wasn't in the game. If Omen wasn't in the game, Yoru would have the tier of his own. Yoru's really good. He can kind of just do anything you want and more. If you don't believe me, watch Zip Tie, watch Eggster, watch Red, watch Rob, watch Charlatan even. Charlatan isn't even known for playing Yoru, but Charlatan's a pretty nasty Yoru player. And he's also a better coach than me, by far. And and Charlatan will probably tell you the same thing. Yoru's a really, really good character to carry yourself in solo queue. And need I say more? Instant relocations, one of the best flashes in the game, one of the most versatile flashes in the game as well, because there's lineups with the flash. Only other character with flash lineups in the game is KO, and you see how good his are. I'm gonna be honest, Yoru's just really, really good. Anyways, with all that being said, I would like to oh wait, no, I should probably anyways, with all that being said, I would like to thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I do a lot of research and a lot of work on these videos. This video is a little bit less effort because I'm not sending it off to my lovely editor. Not sending it off to the editor this time. I'm editing this one myself. This one's a homebrew video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, join the Discord server. I'm starting to do VOD reviews again on stream, Mondays and Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Arizona time. Arizona's time zone changes a lot, so you kind of just have to look up what time Arizona is right now, and that's me. I'm gonna be honest, that's about it. If you want guaranteed coaching from me at a very, very low price, at like literally as low as I could put it, go to my Metafy. Top link in the description. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video, and remember to brush your teeth today, because I know for a fact I haven't. Bye-bye.